Security for its people as well as its investors will have to play a major role if Guyana's economy is to massively expand on a macroeconomic scale in the years ahead. Economist and oil expert Gopnauth Gossai expanded on this subject in an interview with the Guyanese Diaspora News.
So do you really believe that we can go from being a third world to a first world country?
We can do it in gradual stages. We can do it in 15 to 20 years. We can do it. It will take us some time, but we can do it. These 5 years are going to be hard for us in terms of the number of work that we have to do. The next 5 years are also going to see that we need to get more of the operations offshore and getting streamlining the industries and our traditional sectors. And then we can start seeing after that next 15 and the 15 and the 20 year moving forward. Once Guyana can be a safe, secure society with proper services, then we can safely say that we are moving in the direction of a first world country. There was a time when everybody was comparing Guyana to Singapore because the countries got independence around the same time. And Guyana was left behind Singapore, but its vision, it's the adherence to the goodwill of the people in the country that could get you there. We have a second chance now because of this oil resource. And at the same time, we cannot forget the other sectors that we have. So when we are managing this country, we have to look at it as a complete mechanism of development, not a one state commodity type system. And a lot of countries become that. They depend on one single commodity. And we cannot allow that. So moving from a third world to a first world country. But, I never like to describe Guyana as a third world country. I always say we are an emerging economy and we are an economy in transition. So some may ask, how long have we been in transition? But transition is a process. Okay, it's a process.
100 years now.
It's a process. So, I'm very optimistic about Guyana. I know that we are going to see a lot of work being put in over the next 5 years, and we're living in a world that is full of information and is readily accessible, and everyone is paying attention to every single thing that is happening. So you've got to raise the bar, whether you are in the public sector, the private sector, or you're now getting into the country as an international investor. You have to raise the bar because all eyes are on you.
The country can see a doubling of its population, but only if the environment is conducive.
60% of the population is young. And what people want to do is make sure they have a good job in Guyana and they can travel maybe once or twice a year and take vacations, but they want to come back to Guyana where they can work because Guyana is it's a tropical country. Yes, we have our problems like any other country, but we are able to enjoy ourselves at a level where you may not be able to do it in other parts of the world. But we're a small country. In 5 years from now, we might have double the population that we currently have, or even more, because people are looking to Guyana. And when I say people, I'm not talking about our Caribbean brothers and sisters. The global world is looking at this English-speaking country. English-speaking, which is an advantage that we sometimes overlook, that can take us further than we can ever imagine. So 5 years from now, we might have more people in Guyana than we expected. We will definitely need to provide goods and services for all those people that are needed.
Guyana should also pursue re-establishing a national carrier.
Imagine if you go back to Guyana and you are able to, let's think long term. There's a national carrier that can carry Guyanese to and fro the US at a reduced price than the price that we normally pay. If you go to Guyana and there's an efficient public infrastructure where the cost to get around the city is safe and secure, and you don't even have to worry about how much a taxi or how much a bus will cost, or those kind of systems. So you have to look at the nationalistic outlook of it all, and that will have to be our immediate expectations, not the financial value in our pocket immediately, because we have to build a country. And this is our second chance to be able to move forward in the best way possible in a collective manner. And it is hoped that everyone sees that in the immediate benefits moving forward over the next year.
Gossai Jr. cautioned that forward planning is key to the success of future development, and any government should plan for rainy days ahead.
I mean, they were already saying that Guyana had the pre-resource curse, and that's simply because the previous administration was spending more than they were ever receiving. And it's just wrong. You have to plan at a macro level. You have to plan for 10 years. You have to plan for the next 5 years properly, and 10 and 15 years. You can't plan for next year and then hope you win the election and those kind of things. You have to strategically set forth what is needed. And, in economics, there's always a trade-off between consumption today and saving for the future. That's simple economics. And what Guyana needs to do is make sure that we can provide for today, but save for the rainy days as well.
He is optimistic that when he returns to Guyana after completing his PhD from the University of Aberdeen, Scotland, United Kingdom, that he will begin to see changes in the private and public sector and other aspects of the economy.
I'm a Guyanese, and of course, when you return back to Guyana, you will want to make sure that you see a sparkling country in some ways in terms of simple services that were once difficult to get can be achieved, can be received very quickly without any level of corruption or delay or fatigue in some given manner. And that's when you want to be proud of your country, because the investment would have gone into ensuring that the manpower in the country is improved, the social services in the country is improved, the public services in the country is improved, and those kind of things.
For the Guyanese Diaspora News, I'm Jennifer Jabbar.